As photojournalists, we can contribute to making a change in the world through our reportage and the power of photography. As photographers, we can bring the problems and pain of many people to the rest of the world. Prashant Panjiyar speaks to us about his work with various NGOs on social issues and also his creative journey of developing long-term projects. Over to Prashant.
All my work as a photojournalist, my major amount of, almost 90% of the work have been on social issues. So actually, I was working on social documentary as a photojournalist. And social documentary is actually a very, very strong and integral part of photojournalism. However, in about 2004, I've found that, that the newspapers and magazines in India had kind of shifted, and even internationally had kind of shifted their focus more to lifestyle and the values or concerns of their own readers, mainly middle class readers. And there was not so much attention being paid to social issues. And at that same time, I got an opportunity to work with some of the non-profit organizations that were working in this field, basically like health, education, society, lifestyle, livelihood, etc. So for me, it was a logical kind of move from going from photojournalism into rather a continuation of what I did in photojournalism while working for nonprofits. Now, the nonprofits since the 2000s have been investing a lot in photography and visual documentation, not only as documentation, but because they use it for advocacy, to be able to convince more people to participate in the programs or get more funding. So, for example, a lot of photojournalists have found a way of continuing the practice with the nonprofits. The nonprofits have their own motives, but as a photojournalist working or as a documentary photographer working for a nonprofit, I can continue doing what I need to do as a photographer, as well as serve a certain purpose in society. So I'll give you one example. I've done a lot of work with the American India Foundation, which has worked on a program called LAMP. It's called LAMP because it's Learning Amidst Migration, which is a program an education program for children of distress seasonal migration. Now, seasonal migration is where entire families move for part of the year to another location to work, and they take their children with them. So, and that whether it is in a salt pan or in sugarcane cutting or in a brick kiln, it's almost 6 months that they will spend there. And then they go back to the village. But the children miss out on the education because when they go back, they may join the village school, but they're way behind. So the American India Foundation started a program an education program, first providing bridge education to these children, and then seasonal hostels where they could be kept back in the village and taught. So this is a program that I've worked on a lot. I've photographed a lot. I've been able to produce 2 books for them based on that program. And based on that program, what they've done and the reporting of that, many states approached the American India Foundation and started their own programs of trying to keep back the children of distressed seasonal migrants and give them a proper education. So it's had a great effect. HIV is another example. All the work, photography and visual work, advocacy work that has been done in HIV in India has helped curb a pandemic in India. And there are plenty of examples of this. So it's very rewarding work, to be able to actually make some positive change. Now, it does not always happen, but there is a chance. Whether it's I've worked with human rights organizations to bring to light human rights violations of people, and that may have been used as a campaign to raise funds. In a natural disaster, my images have been used to find donors to help the victims of, and not just mine, a whole lot of people. Even television now, there are so many programs that actually help raise awareness and money to help people. So it's a very rewarding and very important part of our work. I work a bit differently because I don't necessarily work on deciding first that I have a project or this is the subject of my project and then going out and shooting it. Unless, of course, I'm working on an assignment when I used to work on an assignment for a newspaper or a magazine, then you knew that you were going out to photograph, for example, how people lived in a remote part of India or something like that. So you had a subject and you went out and did that story. But for my own long-term projects, I use it slightly, quite a different method. I almost never work on a project to begin with. I look at all the images that I make throughout the years, and I look for patterns in what I have been doing. And from those patterns that I see of studying my own work emerges the project. So King Commoner Citizen happened like this only. While I was still in college, I was very, very moved by Satyajit Ray's film Jalsa Ghar, which was about a decrepit aristocrat who still wants to make one last shot at his noble life, though his whole economic situation and social situation has gone down. It's a beautiful film, and I was wondering why couldn't I photograph the Maharajas of India in the contemporary situation. I've never been interested in the idea of exotic India or the exotica, and the Maharajas were the most exotic image of India. And I thought that maybe if I photograph them in the contemporary light as they are, and even go look for people who have sort of faded away in oblivion, I might be able to turn this most exotic idea of India into something else. So I worked on this project for many, many years on my own and I had a very solid body of research and quite a few images of that work, which I wanted to publish as a book, but I could never publish it as a book because at that time the publishers were not interested in a book that was not about exotic India. So when I looked through all my pictures that I had been working on in the year 2000, since 1978 to 2000, I saw that there was a pattern emerging. I had photographed the Maharajas and I had photographed common people in their day-to-day situations, in their day-to-day tribulations, and in their grief, and their sorrow, and their happiness, and their work. And that was the main body of my work. And what I have spoken to earlier about according a respect to the person, I could see that I had managed to do that. So I thought about putting my pictures of the Maharajas and my pictures of ordinary people together and see, because they started talking to each other, there was this feeling that a king could be a commoner and a commoner could also be a king. And that's what I saw in my pictures. And that is why I came up with an exhibition called Kings and Commoners in 2000. Later on, a colleague and friend of mine, Sanjeev Seth, who's a very brilliant book editor and a photographer, took that whole project, that work, and made that into a book called King, Commoner, Citizen, which is more or less my journalistic work put together. And that's how this book came about. In the similar way, I've worked on a large project called Pan India, A Shared Habitat, which also came about of 6 years of shooting panoramic photographs before I realized what I was actually looking at. And once I realized that there was a pattern in that, I made it my project. And the same way, I'm working on a project called Indianisms now. And Indianisms, the beginnings of those photographs are from 1981. And in about 2011, I started seeing that there was another pattern, another thread of thought in what I'd been doing, which I should complete as a work. So Indianisms came about that way. So that's how I work, and there are various projects I work on, but there are always the long-term projects come about because I have worked on them for something, gone back for some other reason, gone back for a third reason and a fourth reason, till I finally realized that there is something which I'm looking at, which may be interesting. Well, this photojournalism has had a very, very crucial role in kind of representing the world all throughout its history of photojournalism. The photograph itself has had, because it's been a record of what's happened. But photojournalism, because it allowed people to go to different places to record all the events, I think modern contemporary history of the world is a lot known through a visual history of the world. And photojournalism has a very significant role in that.
Prashant Panjiyar is one of the most passionate and eminent photojournalists that the world has today. He continues to inspire a large number of youth to find and develop their passion for photography. We hope that you too would have gained from his deep insights and worldviews. Remember, whatever you learn, put it into practice, and it's only through practice that you are going to get better and better.